I'm interviewing Ralph C. Evans, and his nickname is Buzz.
Now you want me to give you a story. All right, on the way over to Pearl Harbor, uh, we ran into a hurricane or a typhoon in the Caribbean. And we had big pontoons tied to the side of our ship about as big as this room here, like maybe 20 by 20 feet. And they were big, but they were hollow. They used them for bridges when we got over there. Anyway, in this hurricane, the one side broke off, and our ship listed that we were ready to roll over. When everybody got out to unfasten the other ones, we unfastened the ones on the other side of the ship so we could go upright again. That was on our way over. When I got overseas, I was at Guam, I was at Okinawa. Now, I didn't get into any of the fighting. Don't get me wrong here, because the war was just about over when I got there. And I ended up on the island of Peleliu. And I was on the island of Palau where they just had this survivor thing. I was on that island. And then I ended up on the island of Peleliu. And I was there until, excuse me, until 1946. We were on the island of Peleliu, which is about 500 miles from Japan, and we were ready to go on the invasion of Japan when President Truman called for dropping the atomic bomb on Japan. And they dropped one, Nagasaki, I think was the name of it, or what was Hiroshima, one or the other. Anyway, they had to drop another one before Japan quit. So that saved one butt. We didn't have to go to invade Japan. So I came home in 1946, and I did very well since I joined the Army when I got home. Full-time Army National Guard, and I put in 33 years. And I retired from there. So I'm now retired military service. I could tell you a couple stories maybe from the islands where the Japanese, they wouldn't give up. They did not, a lot of those people did not, their soldiers did not know that the war ended. When the day that I left, there was a couple of our guys killed with Japanese machine gunners that were up in the hills. They had big caves up there. They used to roll these guns out on big guns and machine guns and so forth on railroad tracks in these caves. And they pull them shut, and they had steel doors on them. This island that I was on, the island of Peleliu, was fortified for 20 years before this war started. And they had an underground hospital there, Japanese underground hospital, and most of the equipment in there said, made in USA. That was in their underground hospital. Finally, our guys finally went up into these mountains where these caves were with flamethrowers and just blew them shut and burned them out. That was in 1946 yet, and the war was already over. I think the war ended in August of 45.
What year did you enlist?
1944.
And how old were you?
And I was 17. But then I didn't get called into the service. I enlisted in 44, but I didn't get called in until 45. So, I don't know what else I can tell you, honey. And this was our airfield. That was a physical fitness program there. That don't mean anything. That's just. Here's when you cross the equator, you get one of these. You get initiated when you cross the equator. And everybody has to get initiated the first time they cross the equator. And we had to walk a plank. And we thought we were jumping over the side of the ship, and here it was in the tank on the ship. But we thought we were going over the side. And that's what we had to do for our initiation. Then they used to you had to run through a line, and you were soaked wet with hoses, and they paddled you and everything like that. Charge. Oh, and this is a good one here. That's me and a girl in Hawaii. Yeah, they just took pictures with you. I used to like to drink beer. And that's about it.